Okay, checking my audio here. Seems like my mic is a pretty decent volume. Gonna be recapping this. I believe it was the first Rebel spin and win game of this particular elf team. Decent MVPs for both teams. That's a hell of a statistic to throw 18 blocks and get a single break and 0 removals, but I guess we'll see what happens when we get further in. Absolute just ton of SPP for both sides for, I mean, I guess it was a 2-2 draw, so yeah, we're gonna watch this replay. Lizard Stadium, not that that really matters. I mean, we're talking game 1 teams, so it's not like there's a stadium in play. Lizards win the coin toss, I think. Who won the coin toss there? The great elf Caspi chose to kick. Yeah, it's pretty much a fairly safe bet when you're taking on a team like Lizards. I guess I don't really need to turn skill on since all of these players are rookies. Let's see. The elves got the +2 fan factor, which is pretty incredible, actually. The plus 20k cash is going to be really excellent. Pretty much guaranteeing you get your Apo game 1. I don't hate this setup. That being said, though, like, I wouldn't be putting my blitzers on the far side, where they can easily be gang felled if my opponent felt like it. Like, I understand that, like, why you're doing it, but they don't have Blodge yet, so I wouldn't be putting those guys out there on the 2 edges. I mean, like, Lizards are not a particularly fast team. Like, they're fast, but they're not ultra aggressive. So it's not super likely that they're going to rush up one side or the other. They're usually just going to try to push you around a little bit and try to stall you out. I mean, I do like that you've screened properly, but yeah. Like, your thrower is... You've protected your thrower and your catcher, but realistically your 2 most important players are these blitzers, so yeah. The Lizardmen setup is just straight up bizarre to me. I don't think I've ever seen someone set up... Oh, you get a perfect defense, though. Gotta admit, I don't really understand this repositioning. I liked it when you had the players back on this side because you were limiting to just the 2 hits, but... I mean, I guess he only has 2 hits anyway, but... Yeah, I really wonder where he's going to go with this. Moving the skink first, but no pickup. Not terrible. That's ridiculously risky what he just did. Wouldn't be too difficult for you to surf him if you wanted to commit 3 players to it. He's just basing up your sidesteppers. Get a break, but nothing else. Looks like he's just going to base up all your dudes. Literally just base up all your dudes. 1 and 9. Still hasn't tried to pick up the ball yet. Pretty dangerous thing to do against Pro Elves. Okay, trying to cut off the ball. He does not get screwed by the ball pickup, though. Okay. So, like I said, like one thing that honestly I would definitely look at doing here is honestly just punishing him for doing this. You could pretty easily set up the players to surf this guy and then still protect them, but I understand that like you want to threaten the ball, so it's not necessarily the best thing to do, but whenever you see someone do stuff like this is such a risky thing for him to do. It's not really that difficult for you to even one dice push him to the side and then have someone follow up with a surf hit, so. Or do it to this guy, either or. I like both. There's the one. Oof, I would not have followed up there. That's currently a 2 dice. I mean, he can easily blitz with any of these Saurus in the area. So it's a 2 dice. If you don't go, okay, he did go down, so you're not getting surfed, which is good. I mean, I guess he was in a rough position no matter what. And when your opponent gives you a shot at the ball, you do take it. So, I can't argue with it. This was another super risky play that he just did here. If this had been a 1 in 9 fail, he would have left his cage open for you to just punch in. I wonder if he's forgotten about this skink all the way back here. Yeah, might as well take advantage of the free 2 dice he gave you. 1 and 9 into... Oh, there you go. A lot of 1 and 9s being rolled so far. Oh, here's your single armor break on turn 2. And then a failed dodge into a stun. Yeah, so your dodges so far have been 0%. Or no, wait, you made that dodge earlier. Pretty hard to keep, you know, him penned in when you're failing every dodge you try to make. It's definitely one of the major downsides of Pro Elves, though, is just the complete lack of dodge. Alright, so he's trying to split your team up here. Where is the ball going? Oh, I see. He's gonna cage up right there. Lizards are so goddamn fast when it comes to skinks. I do think he's forgotten about this skink. He's just like all the way back here, just doing nothing. Your dodge dice are atrocious. I don't really understand how this ended 2-2. Alright, is he just gonna quickly run it in here? He is, okay. He definitely did not need to do that. He could have stalled this out pretty hard. Alright. Not sure why he's setting up to receive right now, but okay. That's a strange set up. So one thing to note here is if you're not going to be throwing any blocks at these Saurus, and you don't have guards, so I honestly don't think you should be. You just don't have the strength to do it. Just set up one player in the center and one player in each of these two corners, so you're not actually wasting your players on dodges, potentially. Changing weather, but it has no real effect. Not bad. Your block dice have been pretty bad too, though. Block skulls. Oh, I see why now he set up the way that he did. It was so that all of your players that go through have to dodge. Although apparently that's not a big deal. Yeah, you might as well hide in the back with him. Oh, we're gonna go for the 2 dice on this one guy. Not bad. Again, push skull. So not great there. This guy just not quite figuring out where he wants to go. Your dodges. Man. I think you failed 3 dodges so far. I don't hate this. It wouldn't be that difficult for him to lock both of these players down, though. I like that this player's all the way back here, because there's currently... I don't think any of these guys can get to him. This guy can get close to him. But yeah, he's exactly enough squares away that he can't be hit. Looks like he's just going to try to pin you up. Guy's gonna run all the way to touch the ball before moving anyone else, maybe? Oh, no. Not starting with dodge on anyone in this team is just such a painful experience. Just a badly hurt. Still super unfortunate, because there goes one of your scoring threats. That being said, all you need to do is get this guy down here, and you can do a 2 dice out. Losing the catcher was a big deal, though. You do not roll a lot of POWs, that is for sure. Alright, we got a catcher with the ball. That was a pretty easy play. I mean, you're talking relatively safe there. This is much less safe. Okay. This guy should probably be right here. And if not right there, he should be up here. Him being 1 square away from this guy doesn't help you, because he's just going to base both of them. You want to be the 2 squares away. Luckily you made it anyway, but... Kind of interesting you chose to dodge this direction. I mean, I guess to help tie up the ball. I guess this guy's relatively tied up. It was a pretty dicey turn. But it definitely worked out. Your ball is relatively safe. just trying to think. So you're right here, so you could go 1, 2. What did that dodge start at? It was a 3+. Why was it a oh, because there's only one guy there. Yeah, okay. So yeah, 3+, 2+ is not terrible. I mean, I guess that was the best you were going to get no matter which way you dodge, so the way you went. And then immediately we fail a 2+ into a KO. But it's okay, that's just alignment. Now, he could try to cut you off here, which is probably what he should be doing, is screening his players down here. I guess we'll see what he does do. He's going to blitz a sidestepper, which does not work out for him. Is he going to screen his players down here? He is not. He's just going to try to get to the ball. God, stunty players are obnoxious. He's just going to try to, like, slam them into the ball. That is, that's an interesting play right there. His block dice have been so much better than your block dice, and your dodge dice have also been atrocious. Okay, so let's look at this down here. Are there any chain push plays we could pull off here? This guy blitzing this way, nope, nope. I don't like starting with a 1 dice, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, realistically, I think the first thing I would probably do would be a dodge blitz with this guy to push off one of these 2 skinks, so this guy can walk through easier, but I assume that's who you want to give the ball to. Luckily, you got bailed out with the 1 dice. That was dangerous. I mean, the throw itself wasn't, the intercept was. We could have negated the whole intercept chance by potentially blitzing this guy down, and then I guess that would be extra dice no matter what. But on the upside, you do get a touchdown on a blitzer here. Assumably. I know you do get a touchdown, but that's a lot of ones. Like, just a disgusting amount of ones. Our KO does not come back. KO failed out of 3. So we're down 2. They're still at 11. Once you're down this many players, don't even bother setting up something like this. Like, tighten up. Because you don't want him to come through the center. If he comes through the center and he splits your team, you're going to have a hell of a time. You'd much rather have your players in here in, like, the defensive 5 formation. Just so you actually have all your players in the center. It means he has to go either left or right or both. But either way, he can't just kind of, like, force his full team through the center, which is something he could do here if he felt like it. He does only have 2 turns to score, so... But, I mean, he doesn't really need to do much. He just has to knock this guy down and then set up in this area. Because it's a single guy. So when you have something like that, there's no point in just having a single dude here. That was a weird setup on his part. And you get a second perfect defense. Alright, so technically it's harder for him to get through now. But still not impossible. Yeah, he's going to go right through the center, which is what I thought. But then he pushes you straight back instead of to the side. Okay, I don't understand why he did that. Ugh. Nothing you can do about LOS hits. Just a miss next game, not a big deal. Loners are just as good for the most part. He does get the pickup. He hasn't set a scoring threat up yet, though. Because he only has one turn, so... I don't think he actually had a scoring threat. He needed this guy to go up to be able to score. Thrower's just booking it. Not a terrible idea. I would definitely get the catcher out of there, yeah. I will note to be careful doing this kind of stuff in league play where like you just pulled all your players back, but you left like one of your most important players, which is a blitzer right here, who's gonna get blocked. He can't score, and some teams are just gonna gang foul you at that point. So just be wary of that. You do not want blitzers getting gang fouled. It looks like your lineman might get gang fouled here. I don't know why he's picking your lineman for it, but he does get the blitzer down. Which he could easily have turned into like a 3-assist foul, but he doesn't seem to be wanting to do that. He's going to foul with the ball. He does get an injury, but he loses his own player. And that's why, like, let's see. His armor roll was a 9+. Or no, wait. Armor roll was a 2+, and he rolled Snake Eyes, so... I guess there was no real way to make it a 2+ on this guy. So I guess technically, according to how the dice worked, his plan was better, but I would have tried to foul your blitzer, not a lineman. But I guess luckily for him, your guy cannot break armor. Ooh, you should have pulled the other catcher down first. He's like right there. Or right there. He's somewhere up here. 0% KO rolls so far, so you're down 4. That is such a weird such a weird defensive setup. I don't even know what to say about it. Alright, so you're on offense here. There's no point in pulling your players back. You definitely need to move down. And in this case, probably your best shot is knocking this guy to the side and coming down this way. I can't think of any other way you would get through here. I mean, you could try this side. It's the same. Actually, no, this side's worse because this guy's closer. This guy would need to be knocked down. So, yeah, your easiest way to go through is, honestly, you put a lineman here. You blitz him with a blitzer, and then you put a couple players down here, and then you hide the ball back here, and then try to chuck it over. Not actually quite sure what you're going to do, but, yeah, pulling both your blitzers back here, Pro Elves aren't a particularly fast team when you're already down 3 players. Wouldn't be playing this defensive, especially when you're just trying to jam the ball in. Like, you're losing the attrition game already. I wouldn't be trying to stall. When you get 2 stuns here, that's actually really unfortunate for you. That was your catcher. Yep, I definitely like that guy pulling back. Yeah, I don't hate that play either. You do need to screen off your guy, though. Okay, there we go. Okay, you only have one scoring threat though, so this guy basically needs to stay on his feet in order to score. I mean, I know you don't score on this guy again, so... Get stunned. Your armor's like paper. He's gonna foul your catcher? Nope, he's just gonna base you. I guess he has the players to base every single one of your players. So there is that. Kind of surprised he's not trying to foul your catcher that's on the ground. He does fail a dodge there. Nice, your player's stunned, so he's definitely not scoring this turn. Or probably in the next turn either. He's just too far back. Okay, let's make that stupid symbol disappear. So our catcher's on the ground here. We've got a lineman and a blitzer. And we've got a thrower up back, and we got two linemen here. It's going to be pretty difficult to keep this ball safe, especially with the lack of dodge or really any survival skills on this team. Let's see, you stand this guy up. Well, you can throw a 2 dice on this guy just straight up to free the catcher up a little bit. Don't know what the blitzer's going to have to make a shit dodge. That's just going to have to happen. And then the catcher, I would assume you kind of fall back with. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's already 1 GFI. That's not a good play. Alright, let's see what you do. We do start with that play. This is a very risky play. Or it wasn't a GFI. It must have counted wrong. Make the 3+, snake the 2+. I mean, I can't argue with that play, because that is the play I would have done. That dodge, so really, you know, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna guess the ball goes down here, yep. Thrower gets stunned. He's breaking your armor an incredible amount for having no mighty blow. Like, I know you're giving him a lot of hits, but still. Another removal. So that's 5 removals so far. And I mean, this KO might as well be a Kaz, because he's never woken up in 3 rolls. Is he doing a chain push play here? Kind of? Yeah, he definitely is. So that was definitely a pretty good play that he pulled off there. I like it. He didn't have to make the extra dodge. He has way too many players focused up here, though. And... oh, and then there's the casual POW on the catcher. Oof. I'm gonna be honest, as the coach watching this, like, I don't understand why he doesn't stall here. You don't have any threats on the ball. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, this guy can't even reach. He has, like, his whole team up here, and this guy's stunned, and this guy's down here. Like, he has every advantage in the world. He's got a 4-player advantage, in fact. Like, I don't understand how this ends as a 2-2. There's no reason for him to be scoring early here. Especially since you can't knock things down. One thing, too, I just gotta point out, like, this player, like, he's throwing, like, 3 or 4 blocks a turn with no block, and he's 1 in 9 once. That's not typical. Like, Lizards, one of their major downsides early is that they're not reliable because they don't have block. But that doesn't seem to be a major downside for this team. So he's currently left a shot on his ball, unless he hides it. Okay, no, now he's hitting it. Yeah, you definitely dodge free there. This guy, I guess you do you can do a 3+2+. It's not terrible. Getting that catcher free. Always good. Yep, definitely like the 3+2+. Good play there. Realistically, he could still stall here. He still has enough players in the area, but he hands it off instead. Oh, okay. The other player had already leveled, I guess. Or no, wait, that was 2 touchdowns on the same player. I see now. It's weird that it showed that before he did the touchdown. Oh my god, KO rolls. Alright, so you're only down 2 players now, with 4 turns to score. Still have 2 rerolls. He did spread out this time. The early games versus Bash teams is just really rough. Oh, we get a touchback. Beautiful. That's going to help. If it had actually landed in that area, that would have been not great. Block coming into play? Kind of. I do like this particular player setting up here because it lets you blitz through and then bring some players down here. So definitely a good play there. Not really a whole lot to talk about during most of the Lizards' early turns. There's not really a whole lot going on here. He's just basically basing you. This play he's doing here is actually pretty decent. He's stopping you from being able to... Okay, now he broke his screen. I like to actually preferred better what he had earlier. That's why we don't... Alright, so I knew that was going to happen at some point. So one thing to say here, I mean, obviously you do want to give it to the catcher. Let's see, where did you start? You started up here somewhere. I mean, no matter what, he would have gotten the intercept chance. And furthermore, I think that was like a 4+ throw. I can't see what it is because he made the intercept and it happens first, but... Yeah, you gotta be super careful with stuff like that. You're really lucky that you recover it and score in this game, but that's not gonna happen a lot of the time. So you do need to be really careful about intercept chances. We're not high elves, we don't start with safe throw, so you don't get the reroll on that, so yeah, you gotta be careful. But yeah, this realistically should put you in a pretty difficult spot to be able to rescore because let's see, he's based all of his own players, so he's actually made it pretty difficult on himself to actually be able to both knock you down and score. But let's see, could he chain push play? No. Oddly enough, the thing that's hurting him the most from actually being able to score this ball easily is the fact that he based you up with all of his players. I'm just trying to think of a way that he would be able to chain push this out, but not really, because he can only push you into these guys. Let's see, so if he puts a skink here, he can blitz this way, push this guy up to here, and then he could put a skink here. Nah, he doesn't have the players to do the chain push. Okay. But yeah, intercepts happen, so just be very wary of that. Although obviously, like, you had to do something with the ball, but that throw was kind of a bad throw to begin with, just because of the range. Alright, so he left the hardest one, and then chose to block with his ball carrier against a sidestepper. So that wasn't a great choice. I'm not really sure why he tried to blitz either. Like, he could have easily handed off to one of the two skinks. And again, his block dice have been amazing. Like, aside from a couple times where he's almost 1-9'd, in this particular turn where he's only pushing, but this guy gets knocked down, so. Curious about the back direction there. Okay, we're using the thrower to set up the blitz. I don't hate it. Get the skull into the... Okay, there we go. Push it up. Ball scatters out. One thing I'm gonna say here is like I understand that you want to do the pickup there. You need to dodge one of these two players out first, because otherwise you have no scoring threats to give the ball to next turn if you do recover it. So just bear that in mind, that had you failed any of these chain of rolls, this guy's getting knocked down pretty damn easily, and this guy's already on the ground, so at least stand up this blitzer. Because at least he's a sidestepper, so he might actually stay on his feet, so he might end up like in one of these squares. But yeah, you definitely want to move one, at least stand up the blitzer first. And you threw over another intercept. I understand doing it instead of dodging, but honestly, dodging is safer than throwing over intercept. Especially since you threw into a guy that... How does he not score here? Okay, ball scatter's in, I see. Gets the POW. You scatter into the ball, yeah, obviously. Ball scatter's out. Which... pretty decent. He picks up the ball, though. Fails the handoff. Snakes the handoff. Okay, well that's how it happens. literally failed the first roll after the pickup. That's fine. You do have a throw target. Could anyone else have done that easier? The ball was right... Where was it? It was right there. So it was a... What was the pickup? Pickup was a 4+. Let's see. You definitely could have made that easier on yourself. You definitely could have set up a chain push to push both guys off, I guess. Well, no, you couldn't have pushed both off, but definitely I think one of the best plays to do there would have been the blitz or dodge into the blitz on this skink there, just to push him off of the ball. 4+ is pretty risky when you could have made it a 3+, but obviously everything did work out here. Like how his only thing is a send-off. Like, just never took a removal aside from one of his dudes getting sent out. Alright, so quickly here, one thing about one-turn defense, you want to be one square forward. You don't want to be on the back line, because he doesn't need to roll once he hits the touchdown line. So you want to be up on this line so that he has to dodge more times. Not that I expect Lizardmen to one-turn with a rookie team, but... I'm gonna laugh if you get another perfect defense, too. I guess there's literally... You might as well just set up everyone in the center. Yeah. Third perfect defense in a row. That is, kind of insane, actually. Makes sense to push you that way, so we have the follow-up hit. You should be able to make this a 3 dice. That is definitely a 3 dice. He's gonna foul. I'm not really sure what he's going for here. Oh, that was a good end to that game. So yeah, I mean, let's just look at these block dice quickly. Like, he did roll a fair amount of skulls in both downs, but he very rarely rolled them together. And whereas on the other hand, like, you rolled 2 POWs the entire match, and basically your only chance at knocking down skinks for the most part is POWs. And a lot of the skink hits you did unfortunately roll stumbles, so not a whole lot to do there. You did play fairly well. Not a huge lot to talk about. I mean, as I go through it, I did point out a couple things, but I mean, you shouldn't be having 51% armor against a rookie team with no mighty blow. So that was definitely a bit obscenely low. Other than that, your dice weren't horrible. Your dodges were pretty good. I just realized he didn't have a Crocs, which is very weird. In one game, you shouldn't be giving someone 3 intercept chances, so just be careful with stuff like that. Because they're like, against him they were a 6, but if you're fighting like an Agi 4 player, they're a 5+. So be careful about who you're giving intercepts to. Especially be wary if you're giving intercept chance to an enemy pro elf, because Nerves of Steel does also work against intercepts. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this recap of this game. You did get some pretty decent SVP, quite a bit of SVP. He got a ton as well. You did get a decent amount of blocks. I mean, lizards are such a rough team early. You do need to be focusing more blocks on your blitzers, though. Definitely hang back a bit more with your blitzers sometimes. Don't expose them to as many hits, because they will die eventually, and you would like to keep them alive. But that'll be it for this recording.